Hello everyone. Today I am here with one small topic on cesarean section. Being a homeopath, you cannot conduct cesarean section, but still you should know cesarean section. Being a homeopath, you can conduct the normal labor, but when you take a case of the normal labor or when you take a case of pregnancy, you should know your limit. When the case is going beyond your limit is very important. When you should refer the patient to gynecologist, that you should know very well. So when cesarean section is indicated, these indications are very important for you to know, right? Types of first cesarean section. How the cesarean section operation is done. It is done by two ways. First is lower segment cesarean section. It is also called LSCS more commonly. It is called LSCS because in this method the lower segment is opened. Lower segment of uterus is opened. Incision is put on the lower segment of the uterus to take out the baby, to extract the fetus. That's why it is called lower segment cesarean section. Second way of operation is classical or upper segment, where the upper segment is open, upper segment is incised to remove the fetus out. So these are the two methods of cesarean section. Now we go to the indications. There are two types of indications, absolute and relative. Absolute means the indications where vaginal delivery is not possible at all. There are no chance of attempting vaginal labor. So you have to go for cesarean section. It is must. That means absolute. No other option left. That means absolute. Relative means straightway vaginal delivery is not possible. So vaginal delivery when attempted, it is full of risk. Certain risks are likely to occur to the mother, to the fetus when vaginal labor is attempted, vaginal delivery is attempted. So to avoid that risk to the mother and fetus, cesarean section should be done. Because whenever we manage any case of the labor, our prime aim is to get the healthy outcome. Outcome is in the sense of the fetus. The fetus should be born healthy without any complication. At the same time, the risk should not occur to the maternal health. The woman's health should not be damaged after the labor. So these two are our primary aims for managing any case of the labor, right? So to avoid those complications, to avoid those risks which occur while attempting the vaginal delivery, the normal delivery, the cesarean section is indicated. So those conditions come under relative indications, right? Now before we go to these indicative conditions, you should know very well all those indications in the terms of the patient's language. Because every time patient is not going to give you the history in English, right? For example, you are taking a gynecological case and patient is multigravida, then obviously you will ask her previous obstetric history. And suppose if she says that she had undergone cesarean section, then you should ask what was the reason of previous cesarean section. Patient may give you the reason as what was explained to her by a doctor. So whatever explanation is given by her, that you will be able to relate with the indication in the medical terms, right? So patient's language understanding is very important. We start with the absolute indications. First, central placenta previa. Central placenta previa means placenta covers the internal os even when the internal os is closed, or even when it is open, it is covered by the placenta. That is central placenta previa. So in that time, because placenta covers the internal os, vaginal birth is not possible at all. And so you have to go for the cesarean section. Right? Placenta is simply called mallee. તો તમને પેશન્ટ એવું કે ગર્ભાશયના મુખ પર મેલી હતી એટલા માટે ઓપરેશન કરવું પડ્યું. તમે પૂછો કે પહેલાં કેમ CS કરવું પડ્યું, તમે રીઝન પૂછો, તમારે પૂછવું જ જોઈએ. દેટ ઇઝ ફોર યોર બેટર કેસ ટેકિંગ. સો શી મે ટેલ યુ દેટ પ્લેસેન્ટાને એ લોકો મેલી કે એટલે મેલી ગર્ભાશયના મુખ પર હતું એટલા માટે ઓપરેશન કરવું પડ્યું. સેકન્ડ ઇઝ contracted pelvis or cephalopelvic disproportion. Either the pelvis was narrow or there was a cephalopelvic disproportion. Disproportion means ideally the pelvis should be adequate enough to allow the passage of the fetus. Then only vaginal birth is possible. So the size of the fetal head and the size of the mother's pelvis, they are in proportion, so that the fetal head can pass through the maternal pelvis. But if sometimes the fetal head is larger, pelvis is adequate, pelvis is normal size, but fetal head is larger, that's what occur in the hydrocephalus, or in case of the large fetus, you will find the fetal head larger in the size compared to the size of the pelvis. So this will cause cephalopelvic disproportion. In the other condition, the fetus is average sized but pelvis is narrow, like contracted pelvis, which usually occurs in the short statured women. So that will cause a cephalopelvic disproportion again. So in such cases, vaginal delivery is not possible, and so you have to go for cesarean section. The absolute indication. Pelvic mass, for example, large size fibroid. If fibroid is present, it may obstruct the vaginal labor, and that's why it should not be attempted. Advanced CA cervix, carcinoma of the cervix, these may again obstructing the procedure, so you should not go for it. Vaginal obstruction, like there may be atresia or stenosis, narrowing of the vaginal opening, that will prevent the vaginal birth. High fetal head, or you can say non-descent of the fetal head. બાળક નીચે ના ઉતર્યું એટલા માટે ઓપરેશન કરવું પડ્યું. There was no engagement of the fetal presenting part. બાળક ઉપર જ રહ્યું, નીચે જ ના ઉતર્યું એટલે ઓપરેશન કરવું પડ્યું. That's what said by the mother. High fetal head. Right? So these were the absolute indications of the cesarean section, where vaginal labor is not possible at all, and so you have to go for the cesarean section. Now we come to the relative indications. Here, vaginal delivery is risky. Vaginal delivery may be possible, but when it is done, it is risky either to the mother or to the fetus. So to avoid that risk to the mother or fetus, cesarean section is done. So that is called relative indication. So vaginal labor may be possible if done with the care and skill. But because many risks are associated, dangers are there following the vaginal delivery in this condition, it is not attempted. Cesarean section is planned. Like cephalopelvic disproportion, that is mild degree. So vaginal delivery may be obstructed, may not be obstructed. So you may go for cesarean section. Past history of cesarean section. Suppose the patient is second gravida and she had previous cesarean section. It is not a rule that after first CS you have to go for cesarean section again. After first CS, second normal delivery is quite possible. It depends on doctor's skill, depends on the maternal condition, also depends on the fetal well-being. So different factors play role in taking this decision, whether to go for the second CS or to attempt vaginal delivery second time, right? So it is not a rule, it is not must that after first CS patient has to undergo second CS only. Vaginal delivery is possible in the second pregnancy, right? But there are chances of risk when second delivery is attempted per vagina. For example, when the severe bend down efforts are taken by the woman during normal labor or the vaginal labor, there are chances that the caesarean section scar of the previous labor may get open, it may get burst. So these will aggravate the patient's condition. So to avoid it, when during pregnancy patient gives the history of previous caesarean section, doctor decides planned caesarean section. Doctor straightway may say that operation કરવું પડશે, normal delivery થશે નહીં, right? Then fetal distress, either it is in terms of the heart rate, fetal movements, so bradycardia, tachycardia, cardiac irregularities, excessive movements in the of the fetus, any fetal distress. If you find it persistently, you may go for caesarean section. Dystocia, that is difficult labor, obstructed labor. So when you attempt for the normal labor, vaginal labor, but in between the labor there is difficulty in the labor does not progress further, so you have to go for caesarean section. Antepartum hemorrhage, the woman who is second or third gravida and she had previous history of antepartum hemorrhage, then this time she may get intrapartum hemorrhage. These we have discussed in detail while discussing the antepartum hemorrhage. So to avoid intrapartum hemorrhage, caesarean section is planned. Malpresentation, that is breech, face, brow, shoulder, where vaginal delivery becomes difficult. And malposition, that is occipito-posterior position, right? So in malpresentation and even malposition, vaginal delivery is possible, but many complications, many abnormalities are associated with the vaginal labor. So to avoid those complications or to avoid those abnormalities, vaginal delivery should not be attempted and caesarean section is advised, right? Further, failure to progress in labor. Progress in labor in terms of cervical dilatation. For example, there is a rigid os. Patient will say that ગર્ભાશયનું મુખ ખુલ્યું જ નહીં, બરાબર, મુખ ખુલ્યું નહીં એટલે rigid os હતો. Or sometimes it may happen that the os may begin to dilate, may begin to get open, but then further dilatation stops. That is, further progress in labor failed to occur. So at that time you may go for caesarean section. Bad obstetric history, like recurrent premature deliveries or recurrent fetal loss. Earlier the patient had pregnant 2 times, but both the time fetal death occurred. So in such case the third pregnancy is more precious for her, and our effort should be to get the delivery of the alive fetus, birth of the live fetus. And that's why in such cases any risk should not be taken, and so we go for caesarean section. Hypertensive disorders like severe preeclampsia or eclampsia. Severe preeclampsia very soon lead to eclampsia, and if the patient already has eclampsia during pregnancy, there are chances that she may get eclamptic fit, eclamptic convulsion during labor. So intrapartum convulsion may develop, and it is quite difficult to tackle that intrapartum convulsion, and that's why we should go for the caesarean section. Medical or gynecological disorders like diabetes, severe syphilis, chronic renal failure, hypertensive disorders, these are the various medical disorders where you may go for the caesarean section. Gynecological disorders may include CA cervix, and fibroid, where vaginal birth becomes difficult, and so we go for cesarean section. And on maternal request, sometimes the mother requests the doctor to go for cesarean section, to plan cesarean section. There are many reasons behind it. Sometimes she does not want to pass through the process of normal labor, because labor pain is the most severe bodily pain. So she does not want to experience that pain. So for the painless delivery, she prefers to go for cesarean section. Sometimes the data shows that after the repeated vaginal birth, there are chances of getting prolapse of uterus in future. So to avoid that gynecological condition also, patient may decide to go for cesarean section. Because nowadays the women, the pregnant women, when they are literate, they go through various literature available related to the pregnancy on YouTube, online. So they know many associated factors during their pregnancy or labor, right? So they are quite aware about it. And so to avoid those future risks also, they may decide to go for the cesarean section. And above all, not related to any medical field, the craze to get the birth of the baby on a particular date or particular time, also cesarean section is planned. So these are the various reasons for maternal request to have cesarean section, right? So these are various indications to go for cesarean section. Now, out of all these complications, few are the common indications where cesarean section is frequently done. First, we discuss those common indications of cesarean section in the primi gravida. Now you know who is primi gravida? A woman who is first time pregnant. Failed induction. The primi gravida has good muscle tone, so even when the labor is induced, oxytocin drip is given or homeopathic remedies are given to induce labor or to cause progress of the labor, it fails. So you may go for cesarean section. તમને પેશન્ટ એવું કે જગ્યા જ પહોળી ના થઈ, મુખ ઉઘડ્યું જ નહીં, એટલા માટે ઓપરેશન કરવું પડ્યું. ફેલ્ડ ઇન્ડક્શન. Fetal distress, either as I told you in the beginning, bradycardia, tachycardia in FHS, or excessive fetal movements, passage of meconium before birth, especially in the vertex presentation. These are all the fetal distress. So any of the fetal distress is found, you may go for cesarean section, because ultimately the health of the fetus is upmost, our topmost priority. CPD, that is cephalopelvic disproportion. Now you know what is it. Dystocia, when the labor is difficult, and it is very likely in the primi gravida patient. Malposition, that is occipito-posterior, and malpresentation, that is breech, shoulder, face, brow. So any of these malposition or malpresentation is found, you may go for cesarean section. Now we come to the common indications in the multigravida patient. Multigravida is the patient who is second or third time pregnant. When she has previous cesarean delivery, then we may go for cesarean section again. History of APH. The patient who is primi gravida will not give you past history of APH because she is first time pregnant. But the woman who is multigravida, she may give you the past history of APH in her previous pregnancy. So you may go for cesarean section in the subsequent pregnancy. And malpresentation, where there is either breech or shoulder or face or brow presentation, you may go for cesarean section. So these are all the indications of cesarean section. Whenever you find any of the condition in the patient, without wasting time, you should send the patient, you should refer the patient to gynecologist, because our topmost priority is the health of the mother and the fetus. So at the cost of both the mother's and fetal health, or I would say mother or fetal lives, we should not attempt the normal labor. Whenever we find that normal labor is not possible, it is not progressive, we have to refer the patient to gynecologist for cesarean section, right? I hope you are very clear about these indications of cesarean section. Thank you.